Hello again. This is the second recording. It is starting on part 4. It's called A Future, and it is Martin's turn, and it's January 2001. Christmas passed without mention. We couldn't even listen to music on Caitlin's Walkman as we wore out the batteries. While we still had money in our savings account, we knew better than to use it for batteries or even special vegetables or chicken feet. My mom wanted to guard every penny to make sure we had enough to cover our rent and school fees. She continued to look for work as a maid or helping in someone's garden in exchange for food. My father kept looking for new employment as well, along with hundreds, if not thousands, of other men from Sakuva. It was bleak. By then, our American friends were literally keeping us alive. We were beyond thankful. So when another box arrived on January 10th, everyone was surprised. Caitlin's family had already given us so much. This package was totally unexpected and as large as the first one. I was most excited about the large pieces of waterproof canvas that Caitlin sent to put on our roof. The rains had been so heavy and unrelenting that year that water seeped through the floor and between several spaces in the walls. George caught a nasty cold and had a cough so deep I worried his lungs would collapse. His little body would convulse each time he hacked, which was so often it kept everyone up at night. My mother blamed the dampness and tried to fill the holes with sticks and straw. That did not work. So when a neighbor suggested trying paper, my mother wound up using all we had, Caitlin's letters. She didn't tell me until after the fact. One evening, in early January, she pointed to the 3 spots where she used several letters to stuff between the slits. They were already mashed into a pulp. I chose the shortest ones, she explained, sensing my disappointment. It's fine, Ma, I lied. I understood why she did it, but seeing Caitlin's words used as wall putty hurt my lungs. So when I saw that Caitlin had sent tarps and read why, I was elated. That same day, Nation and I spread one large plastic sheet over our roof and secured it with the strong elastic cords Caitlin had packed as well. We lay another tarp on the floor of our hut and enjoyed our first dry night's sleep in more than 2 weeks. The rain boots were also a big hit. There was a pair for everyone, including George, and ponchos too. I had seen people wearing these waterproof capes in town before and thought they looked foolish. To be honest, skin is waterproof. Soon I understood how nice it was to walk around in the rain without getting your clothes soaked. It was a revelation. As were the water purification tablets. So many people fell ill each year during the rainy season, as Chisamba Singles didn't have a proper sewage system. The water overwhelmed the streams and ditches, which led to contamination and deadly cholera outbreaks. The newspapers ran weekly reports on the rising toll. Thousands of people were becoming sick from unsafe drinking water. The buckets Caitlin sent meant we could collect rainwater, and the tablets ensured that it was safe to drink. That alone saved my mother hours every day and saved all of us from the threat of contaminated water. In that same package, I received my first pair of dungarees and my first pair of shoes, real Nikes. I could hardly believe my eyes. I tried to stay calm. The last ones Caitlin had sent were too small. If these didn't fit, I would give them to someone else. I was giving myself this eternal pep talk as I removed them from the box and unlaced them. When I slipped my foot in and then tied the first one closed, my face broke into a wide grin. They were a little big, but worked. Wearing them and my new denim pants, I felt closer to Caitlin than ever, like a real American. I wanted to send her something in return, but what? There was no news to report. Things in Zimbabwe were as dismal as ever, and getting worse with the cholera outbreaks and increasing poverty. So I decided to wait for my O-level results to post. Hopefully they'd offer a bit of good news and another way to thank Caitlin for all that she had done for me. The morning that the scores were due, I headed to school early. There, I saw my friend Patrick. Congratulations, he said. That was odd, I thought. Results were usually not posted for everyone to see. Your teacher gave you grades individually. I passed another student on the way to the classroom who said, "Way to go, Martin!" Another shouted, "Number 1!" There was a line of students ahead of me when I arrived to collect my results. When my teacher saw me, he stood up and said, "Martin, we're so proud of you." I felt the hair stand up all over my body. "Thank you, sir," I said. "I'd like to know why." "Because you got 9 A's," he said, "out of 9 tests." I was speechless. "Your scores were not only the highest at our school, but in the entire region," he said. "You should be so proud." Everyone in the class was applauding. I fought the tears that had flooded the backs of my eyes and made my mouth taste slightly salty. "You should become a doctor," someone said. "Or a lawyer," another chimed in. "Martin, this means you can be whatever you want to be," my teacher said, as he handed me the envelope with my scores. "Mr. Sampoudini would like to see you before you leave." I could smell the smoke through the headmaster's door when I knocked. "Enter," Mr. Sampoudini said. He stamped out a cigarette when he saw me and let out a deep belly laugh. "Martin, you just set a record for our school," he said. I was shaking from happiness. "You must go on for A-levels, of course," he continued, "and I think you should consider doing them at Marist Brothers in Yanga." "What's that?" I asked. Mr. Sampoudini told me it was a boarding school that was more like a college campus. Students sleep, eat, and study there. I immediately thought of the kids I sometimes saw boarding a bus at Tsakuva station when I worked at the market. They stood out in their matching navy blue blazers with a gold crest on the front pocket. Some even wore cricket hats. I asked Nation why they dressed like that, and he said that they were students at a prestigious school. That must be Marist. "You'll meet students from all over the country," he said, "and you won't have to worry about any issues at home. Your job is simply to study and do well." This sounded like a dream. "But how?" I asked. "It must be expensive." "Yes, and worth it," he explained. "Students there become doctors and politicians. There must be a scholarship for bright students like you. Or perhaps your American benefactors could assist you." My mind was swirling. 15 minutes earlier, I was planning on doing my A-levels in Tsakuva with all my other friends. Now I was being encouraged to apply to a private school in some faraway place where I would have to wear a suit to class. It was chaotic, in a good way. "Sir, A-levels start February 19th, less than 2 weeks away," I said. "Those test results are your ticket, Martin," he said, slapping me on the back. I left his office with all these exciting thoughts bouncing in my head like those small silver balls in a pinball machine. This school was my jackpot. I saw Elias, who had heard my good news. "You did it," he said, slapping my back. "How were your results?" I asked. He got 6 A's and 3 B's and was number 2 in our school. I started to really understand how significant my results were. "What have you heard of Marist Brothers?" I asked. Elias whistled and then said, "It's the best school in all of Zimbabwe." A few other friends had gathered around. "Oh, Marist is the place," one said. "You can become whatever you want to if you go there," added another. My head was still swimming with these thoughts when I arrived back home. I showed my mother my grades. "I'm so proud of you, son," she said, her eyes growing glassy. When my father learned the news, he started to sing, "You are the champion of the world," at the top of his lungs. This brought Nation running, who lifted me off the ground when he heard the news, and started running down the path, holding me by the waist, shouting, "Martin is going to be a doctor!" Everyone was so happy, but none was as happy as I. My future was looking bright for the first time, and I had Caitlin to thank. February 2001. Dear Caitlin and family, hello, how are you doing over there? Thanks greatly for the great and big parcel with beautiful, expensive, easy-to-use items. Thank you very, very, very much. I have received nice-fitting dungarees and shirts of real quality. I don't know how to thank you for the potable aqua. It is of utmost usefulness here in Mutare, where some of the piped water could be unsafe for drinking, especially in summer now when we are expecting heavy downpour. I want to thank you for your efforts to improve our lives. I received the parcel on January 10th, 2001. So sorry for a bit of a delay. I wanted to include the results of the O-level exams that you paid for. I had distinctions in all 9 classes and subjects, an A in every subject. I have photocopied my results for you to see. If possible, I am kindly asking you to help me with my levy and fees, since they are now more expensive, and I need to buy some textbooks to supplement those at school. If possible, please do not strain yourself. I'm doing advanced maths, advanced physics, and advanced chemistry. I hope to go to an overseas medical university in the U.S., since my ambition is to become a doctor. I forgot to write that I have the best grades in the whole of Mutare, so I just wanted to give God the best of glory, and you too, for maximum support, both emotional and financial. I was very happy to hear that you, Kate, received a large gift, a nice car. I really congratulate you, and another bunny. I'm not worried that you named her Lois, but I think this will strengthen our friendship and families. I am happy that you liked the photos we sent. I want to thank you for the Christmas money you gave me. That was great of you. The money has helped our declining cash reserve. Thanks very much. We all send you great greetings and wish you all the best in all you are doing over there. Your loving and faithful Martin. I sent the letter off and then continued to ask people about this amazing private school. No one knew anyone who went there or how to apply, so I decided to find out for myself. I found a bus that left Tsakuva every morning for Nyanga. It took 3 hours, I was told, which meant I could make the trip there and back in one day. On the bus, I watched the industrial outskirts of Mutare give way to grasslands where an occasional scraggly tree punctuated the sunburned bush. Nyanga is northwest of Mutare in Manicaland. Both are home to I don't know how to pronounce this, Zimbabwe's tallest mountain, and Nyanga National Park. Every so often, I'd see a skinny cow or several patchy goats nibbling roadside. Less frequently, we passed a cluster of traditional mud and grass-roofed huts. It felt like I was headed to the middle of nowhere. I finally arrived in Nyanga and was shocked at how small and slow everything seemed compared to Tsakuva. The town has roughly 2,000 residents, a post office, a bank, and a few small shops. Several women were selling mangoes and peanuts at the bus stop, a roadside dirt patch. One lady was selling sadza, and though I was hungry, I decided to wait to buy something for the trip back later that evening. I asked an elderly man for directions to Marius Brothers. He pointed down a different dirt road that led away from the town's small center. I meant the school, I said. Yes, he said. Marius Brothers' school is that way. I looked down the road, which disappeared into a forest. How far? I asked. About 35 kilometers, he said. Is there another bus that will take me there? I asked. It left 2 hours ago, he said. Try again tomorrow. I was planning on taking the 5 p.m. bus back home, so I started jogging down the new dirt road, hoping to hitch a ride. An hour later, I heard a rumble behind me. I turned to see a pickup truck in the distance, kicking up dust in its wake. I planted myself in the middle of the road and started to wave my arms. This was my chance. The truck slowed down, and a man my father's age peered out the window. Marius Brothers, he said. I took it as a good sign that he thought I was a student already. I nodded. Hopped in, he said. I'm making a delivery. Oops. I am running out of time. I will stop it here, and I'll start again.